In this video, I'm going to show you how to get different kinds of lighting and colors by working on two separate layers. So, I have this image, and I'm going to edit it so it looks the way that I want to. I've already done those edits, and what I did was I changed the exposure and the contrast to make my shadows really dark, but my highlights a little bit lighter, so it doesn't look so underexposed. Then I used the burning tool to darken the edges in the background. And then I also went to image and adjustments and changed the color balance to have a little bit more blue in the shadows. So now I have an image that I'm pretty happy with. But now I want to add a little bit more color to this that's a little bit more surreal. Make this scene look very odd and have different sorts of lighting through it. So what I'm going to do is in my layers palette, I'm going to drag my picture into the new layer. So now I have two copies of it. Then I'm going to come up to Image, Adjustments, and then I'm going to play around with the hue and saturation. I could edit into a lot of different ways, but the hue and saturation is what I want to do because I want to change the color. I'm going to change the color to, I don't know, this reddish kind of violet in the background. I think is pretty neat. I don't exactly want the green on the person, but I think it does something nice to the background. Now, I have two layers. So there's my original one, and here is my new edited color. I can change my tool to the eraser tool. And the eraser tool should look like a little eraser block. Now with this eraser block, I'm going to go up to my settings. I'm going to change it so it's nice and large, and I'm changing the hardness down to soft. And I can start erasing parts of my layer so that it reveals the original under it, while still retaining some of the color off of the new changes. Really, all I'm doing is I'm cutting a portion away from my new layer so that it shows my layer underneath it. But since they're the exact same picture, it looks like the color is changing throughout it. So that can be another way that you can create an interesting design. And that's significantly more interesting compared to what my original one was. That was dull and underexposed. Now it has a bright focal point, and we have interesting colors changing throughout both the foreground and background. Finally, once you're happy with a design like that, you're going to want to merge those layers together. That way, they function as one whole layer. If you want it to function as one whole layer, because if I change something else, I'll have to change it on each layer or on the merged layer. So say I wanted to adjust the brightness and contrast, and I want to change the brightness. Notice how it only affects the cut portion of that layer that I created. Which that could be nice, but if I wanted it to affect everything, then I need those layers to be merged. So in my layers, if I right click on it, it'll give me some options. And I can come down here to merge down, and it'll merge my two layers together. So now it's just one whole layer that has my changes on them. So when I come to Image, Adjustments, and then brightness and contrast, and I make it brighter, you can see that it makes the whole image brighter, or it makes the whole image darker. Always remember to come to File, Export As, and export it as a JPEG, and then it will go in your Downloads folder.